has been added to the team. They're now 5-1. Last week, Draymond Green said ahead of the All-Star game that Golden State will win the championship this season, and he has since doubled down on his podcast.
I believe that we got the pieces to do it. And like I said, I know what that look and feel like. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people like, oh, man, how he going to say that ain't done it? What Jay say? How you going to talk about how to do it? They never did it? Like, you got all these people out here talking about what I said and how I'm going to do it.
But you did it before.
I've done
over and over.
Over and over and over and over. I know what it look and feel like. I 1,000% wholeheartedly stand all 10 toes down on everything I said.
Over-under on Luka. The staff told me it's 31.5. I'm taking the over. He may drop that in the third quarter.
So, hey, real quick on Draymond. I just looked this up. So the Warriors are currently in the play-in. Colin, if they get to the playoffs, they will either likely face Denver as the 7th seed.
Well, Denver would beat them. It's a bad matchup, but Denver can't defend, so it would be a good series to watch.
Okay, and then the other option, if they get the 8th seed, is OKC. Are they beating OKC? Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. So, like this
I got to tell you, that would be the series. That would be the best first-round series in the NBA.
Oh, I'll be rooting
old,
Warriors out.
veteran, cranky Warriors and the new kids on the block. That would be a great series.
It'd be great. Can the Warriors win this season?
Now, and here's what you worry about if you're SGA. So Karl Malone, who lived at the free throw line, didn't quite get the whistle in the playoffs. James Harden, who lived at the free throw line, never quite got the playoff whistle. SGA lives at the free throw line. NBA officials do not give you the regular season whistle, especially once you get to the second round on.
That's a good point.
So Oklahoma City, it's just the way it works. Harden and Karl Malone were guys that feasted on sitting at the stripe, and you don't get that whistle. I mean, you get to second round conference finals. They let you play. Referees let you play. So Oklahoma City is not going to get that friendly whistle like they do now.
By the way, you think Curry and Draymond are intimidated at all by OKC? Jimmy Butler? Do you think they're afraid or nervous?
You know what's great about...
We got to go to OKC for 2. Oh, no. Jeez. Oh, guys, we got to focus.
You know, it's. We talked about this yesterday. Jimmy Butler gets a lot of pushback because he's very old school. He's got a little bit of Kobe's and Michael Jordan's sort of mantra, which is practice hard, play hard. I mean, if Jimmy's missing a game, it's because the Heat are suspending him or he's hurt. Like he likes to play and he likes to practice hard, and he's very intentional the way he plays basketball. Like every possession matters. Very old school. Well, Draymond's old school, and Steph Curry is a workaholic. So he really was, as everybody was worried about. Because I read a couple of stories. They said, analytically he's not a good fit. But emotionally and intellectually, Jimmy Butler is a great fit to the Warriors. And you got to be careful about analytics. Like, sometimes, like, if you go back, I've always said this about the Miami Heatles. They didn't fit. First of all, they had no size. They had no true point guard. And D-Wade and LeBron are kind of like different versions of themselves. What happened? They brought in Battier, Ray Allen, D-Wade, Udonis Haslem, Chris Bosh. It was the smartest team in the league, and they just figured out how to play. They just outsmarted people on a nightly basis, matchup, spacing, because they really had no size. They were a bad rebounding team in all 4 finals. So I think Golden State, Butler, again, Draymond, Curry, that's a team that Kerr, the coach, they'll figure out ways to manipulate a playoff game and steal a game or 2 in a series. They shouldn't win.
Yeah.
OKC has no experience in that space. J-Mac, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Live.
23rd Combine, which it is interesting to watch how the NFL has grown through the years. They moved, they extended their draft. It's now 4 days. They brought it back. They wanted more TV. They have the Combine's now a thing. They moved their free agency. So again, these leagues like college football is making all these moves, and people are complaining about the moves. And my take is, do you want to grow or not? Like, what do you want to do as a sports league? Do you want to get better? Baseball took forever. Finally, they put in the pitch clock. Oh, what do you know? Ratings went up 12%. Like, oh, let's get rid of the defensive shift. So when people complain about college football making moves and the NIL and the transfer portal, you can sit and gripe about things that are happening, or you can move on. Like, stop romanticizing and collecting baseball cards. Like, grow up, things change. Like the NBA right now needs some tweaks. I think they have to figure out a way to make the game not quite as monotonous. I also think, and I've been saying this for years, I think the NBA's got, it's not a regular season issue, because even during Michael Jordan, it wasn't like we all sat around and watched regular season NBA. I think the NBA's got a playoff problem, is that March Madness, even the WNBA, or women's college basketball and March Madness, they feel so urgent, and we're becoming more of an event society where UFC Saturday night, college football, pro football, World Cup, Olympics, they're all doing great. NBA playoffs, that's the bigger issue. That's their best numbers, but their numbers should be double what they are, because it's ridiculous to have a 7-game first-round playoff series between a 1 and an 8 seed. To me, it's not a regular season NBA issue. David Stern, the late commissioner, used to tell people privately, the big secret about the NBA is nobody watches our regular season. I got news for you. People weren't watching Michael Jordan play the expansion Toronto Raptors. Nobody was watching that. But the ratings for the playoffs were magnificent. The NBA's playoff ratings, to me, are disappointing. There's no urgency. In the society today, we have become much more of an event society. We are incredibly distracted. It's TikTok, it's social media, it's Instagram. There's a million channels and platforms. You have to create urgency. 3-game first-round NBA playoff series. From that point forward, 5-game series max. Well, what about the history? Get over it. The world's changing. J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Big story in sports is Luka Doncic and the Lakers hosting the Mavs. First time since the blockbuster trade a few weeks ago. And Kyrie Irving discussed his expectations for Luka and the Lakers tonight.
You know, outside of just the obvious of us being, being in LA and being a former team, of Luka's, obviously the narrative's already written. I don't know what else I could really add to that. I'm pretty much focused and telling my guys just to focus on the high-level game that we got to win. I would love to get into the motions after the game with you, but before the game, it's just about having fun and making sure that we lock in and have a deep focus. They're going to come in, and be ready to play against us. Luka's obviously going to have a lot of confidence. That game, he played well last game, so he's feeling good, and we just got to be aware of it.
I bet you LeBron has 18 assists, all to Luka.
So a subplot, I know obviously we're focusing on the Lakers, but the Dallas Mavericks really need this game, Colin. They are falling. They're currently 8th in the West, and they're only a game and a half in the play-in right now. That's it. Like, there's a chance that they miss the playoffs entirely.
San Antonio losing Wemby is an opportunity for Dallas to sneak in.
Well, who's going to win it? Suns or Mavericks? Who gets in the playoffs? Kevin Durant and Booker or Kyrie Irving? I don't know if the Suns can get it together.
If Dallas was healthy, I think Dallas is actually really good.
They're not healthy.
I know.
That's
but they're really good.
Anthony Davis, Gafford,
So what's
Lively.
the over-under on Luka's points tonight on the gambling side?
I haven't seen one yet. I will continue to look.
It's got to be 35.
He hasn't gone off really like
Denver he did.
He did, and then he got to sit a little bit because they were blowing him out. This could be a blowout tonight. You going to bet somebody just sent me, hey, Jay, what about first half bet on the Lakers tonight? I was like, they could be too amped. You get too excited. Luka, we got to get you going.
All I know is J.J. Redick and LeBron are going to make a point. Everybody on that roster is going to make a point to get Luka the ball.
Yeah, that would be smart all the time, not just tonight. Final story, Colin, is your Golden State Warriors. I got to call them yours because you like them now. Jimmy Butler